Hey, what's going on, guys? So, if you're watching this, you may be on my profile, LinkedIn, YouTube, in our Facebook group, whatever. Anyway, this is the back, kind of the behind the scenes of when we record our Digital Agency Hacker podcast. Okay. And I got an awesome, special reoccurring guest. Brad's been coming on with us quite a bit. So, love having him on. I'll put him on the screen real quick. And let me see here.
Yeah, like where
Okay.
am I?
Yeah, I know, right? So we're going like live everywhere, so I just wanted them to see me first, and then yeah, bring you on. Anyway, so guys, we got a cool topic here today, and I'll do the quick little podcast intro, and then we'll get right to it. Okay. If y'all are on Facebook or any of the other platforms, if you have questions, you can pop them in below, and we'll try to get to them, or at least we'll chat back with you. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, what's going on, Digital Agency Hacker family? Welcome to the podcast. My name is David Murillo, run the Digital Agency Hacker, and we have our partner from Ardent Creative and our partner at the Committed Mastermind, Mr. Brad Ball here. We got a pretty cool topic we want to talk about today, and I guess I'll introduce it over the theme topic as relationships in business. This is really cool. It's something that was near and dear to Brad, and he brought up, and I was like, dude, heck yeah, let's do it. I love the topic. So you want to kind of get us started, Brad?
Yeah, man. I guess it all started the idea for this conversation. I had got a text from a client, and they were just letting me know that basically how I got this client, which was also a client, had passed away. And still working with them, but they were 59 years old. And we have so many relationships in business that we cultivate, and depending upon what kind of business that is, some relationships are deeper than others. And
Yeah.
just kind of was, hey, a reminder that why I do what I do is to build these relationships and to serve my clients and community. And a lot of times we forget that. We're so in the grind of the day to day and the work that we have to do that we forget that there's an aspect of servanthood and working with other people. And so that's really kind of the overall thing in a nutshell of what was on my mind. And then, ironically enough, Monday I got a separate text from a client, and it's a mother daughter, and the daughter was letting me know she was behind on emails because she assumed we already knew that the mom was in a major car crash. And when I say major car crash, short story, basically she wasn't feeling well. I think she probably passed out and ended up hitting the signage over a highway, the big metal railings. She
Yeah.
ended up hitting one of those head on, and the car goes into flames. There's a TikTok video of uh, passerbys getting out of the car and pulling her out of smoke. And what's interesting is I saw the DFW scanner alert with that car in the flames, but I didn't put two and two together. I mean, I wouldn't. You see that stuff all the time. And I got the text. I'm like, oh crap, that's her car. And I went
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
look, and it was her car. And then my business partner found the video of them pulling her out of the vehicle. And if you saw the picture, she should be dead. And even
Yeah.
the text message is basically the daughter says, it's the grace of God and the angels surrounded her, because I mean, literally they pulled her out of smoke. And the interesting thing about that is they're behind on emails. I'm like, I don't care about emails. I just am happy that she's alive. So I posted on Facebook today the picture, and there were friends of mine that were there, or not there at the scene, but passed it and saw the aftermath or even the smoke, and they just thought whoever was in the wreck was dead. And so it's a reminder to me that those relationships are more important than any invoice or bill or job. And when we build those relationships, generally those clients don't leave because it's more than just one job. And I think
Yeah.
that's the main topic behind why we build relationships over selling a service or selling a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is wild. You kind of realize how small the world is too, with how many people know or text about it or whatever. Like it's big wake up call. I I can't recall that I've ever had that happen like from a business relationship, but obviously like plenty of personal relationships where things like that have gone down. Um, I think like Brad was saying, like in a when you're in the position of serving others and being able to bring value to them, like it's hard not to, when y'all are both, helping move along the project or the journey and everything like that, it's hard not to, develop a friendship relationship beyond just the business transaction. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be kind of
Yeah.
cold not to, especially when it's involving a service. Now I understand like a SaaS or software or whatever, a little bit different, a little more
different.
faceless. Yeah.
But
Running an agency or
when
market.
you're doing marketing, you really become a partner, and we tell that to
Yeah.
new leads is we consider ourselves partners in their business, and just an extension of their business. And so it's very different than selling a SaaS.
Yeah.
But at the same point, we also our growth comes from the success of our clients, and so it truly is a partnership. And it's not about sales. It's not about necessarily, oh, we're going to hit all these demographics and we're going to hit all these goals. If you have the best interest, if your best interest is the client's best interest, then you're going to succeed. If it gets to the mindset of, oh, I'm selling marketing versus trying to see them succeed, then it's probably going to fail. And so I think that mindset shift of viewing our clients' success as our own is something that can really encourage growth in our own businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. And I like that. I mean, yeah, obviously you're developing the messaging and the branding, you're helping them sell their product. You have to believe in it and believe in their vision and everything like that, even just to get behind it. And project that, towards others to help them grow their business. So 100%. Yeah. Very much a relationship building type of opportunity. I think it's cool because like building relationships, we've made that a big part of our business. And I think one of my favorite things, and it sucks because I don't get to do this so much, being out of the country, but obviously we have our big events and stuff like that. And I was sharing some pictures with somebody the other day and like showing them like, hey, look, kind of explaining like, look, check this out. Like we did this event, but look at all these other events over the years that we've all done together and came together and everything like that, from clients to partners to team to everything like that. And it's just really cool. Even for myself, just looking back on that, I was like, oh, dang, like we've like been all over the world together and stuff like that. So it's like, it's just really cool. And now Brad being a partner, he gets to come along for that journey. So it's pretty awesome. I'm a little upset. I don't know what's going to happen with TNC, or if we're, I don't know what's going on there. Last 2 years, sorry, we were pretty involved. The mastermind, we had a booth. Height had the VIP lounge and stuff like that. So that was a really cool experience. But I'm sure, we do plenty of other stuff. So I'm sure we'll make it up somewhere else. But yeah, also San Diego's not a bad place to visit. I did like visiting over there.
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful place to be. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see in terms of that, because I haven't even thought about TNC since they moved it to January.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have TCS, it's kind of hard to think of anything else, right?
No, 100%. Yeah. It's
Well,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
and you talk about relationships. I think that's a big difference. That not to talk about that event, but a lot of conferences you go to and you're in your sessions, and then you maybe connect with a few people or you schedule dinners, but it's really kind of broken and there's not a lot of good relationship building, and even the networking. It's like big loud parties that you can't talk to people. I think that's what's really cool about TCS, was just the ability to sit and talk to people and network and have conversations. Still have some of those cool parties, but the relationship building was way stronger. And that's what I'm probably best at, is just building relationships, which is why we're talking about it today.
Yeah. It's so funny. Speaking of the event, I was reviewing some of the pictures yesterday, and it's so funny because like honestly, some of my favorite pictures to share in posts and on socials and stuff like that, or on reels or whatever on video, are the ones of us all talking and gathering in the circles, and the camera just got it candid, on footage and stuff like that. Versus just the speakers, you know what I mean? Like, because it's not like you're gonna have a picture with every single speaker, or like have a thing in the background or something, but
Yeah.
you are going to be in action talking with people and stuff. So
I think the difference there is that you have relationships with those people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are all about the photo, getting the photo with, the celebrities. And I've met Mark Cuban, Arnold Schwarzenegger, people like that.
Yeah.
And I've always been leery of posting pictures just personally because, Mark Cuban was probably the coolest experience that I'll never forget, just because of the situation and how he treated me and my mother at the time. And it meant a lot at that point in my life. But
Yeah.
he's just another person. And is he uber successful? Yes. But what's cool is when you get around people like that outside of the spotlight, and how normal they can be. And we put people on pedestals, and they're uber successful, but they all deal with the same stuff. They've just made a lot more money along the way. And sometimes that can be smoke and mirrors too. There's people that act like they made a lot of money, and it's a show at times. And so some of the richest people I've met were the most humble, and you would never realize how rich they really were. And I kind of appreciate that personally.
Yeah, I like that. That is something that I have noticed as we've like thrown more events. Obviously, like getting connected with more and more like top level people, is that I haven't met a single one that is like, when you think of like a rude person, or like an unhappy person, or a disgruntled person, or like they're a pain to deal with or something like that, that just seems to like not happen anymore. Like it's just like out of the system, or you just like don't even, I don't know, like you don't let stuff get to you, maybe where you don't show that piece. Maybe they show it in private or something like that. But that is one thing that I've noticed, is that working with people and like getting these speakers in, and connecting with them and all, like they're all super like humble, very generous, kind type of people. Now, I don't know how everybody is like behind the scenes or whatever when they go home. Obviously, like not everybody's like that, but from what I've seen, it's pretty cool to see that. So that's one thing.
So, we've been talking about relationships, and I guess it'd be good to give some tips on how to build relationships with clients and what that looks like. And part of it's just in the sales process for me. I think a lot of relationship building is done in the beginning, and a lot of that just comes to finding personal connection, because they're wanting to buy something from you, but what is that thing that's going to kick it over the top of, man, I really want to use this person? And generally it's that personal connection. And I remember a story. I went in and talked to a client, and I grew up skiing, and then he actually owned a ski resort. And so we talked about skiing for a while, and guess what? I got the job. Why? Because I built a personal connection in that conversation. And I think it's those connections that also give you longevity to the client. If you just selling a SaaS or a widget or something like that, there's always going to be another shiny object. There's always going to be another widget. But if you build a relationship with the client's best interest at heart, it's going to be harder for them to leave. And even when you have difficult clients, and we have them, and we've had to let some go, one of them actually recently came back, and it was a situation that we needed to part ways. We did, and they were going through some stuff in their business and personally. And after a few years, they basically came back and said, "Hey, I need help with this. Can you do it?" And they seemed like they were in a much different perspective. So as a test, we did it, and the project went really well. And so we don't burn bridges. And it's interesting to see when you sew into people, even employees, how they can grow into who they need to be, whether they work for you or not. And we want to see our employees learn as much as they can, but is Ardent or Committed or wherever you're working, is that the end of your career or your journey? No. I mean, it could be a platform, it could be a 20-year job, but if you're not growing, then there's a problem. And so that comes back to encouraging and building relationships both internally and externally. So as it relates to that, find a connection point that is relatable. That's one thing I think why people do a lot of business on the golf course, is because it takes people out of their normal work day and puts them in more natural environment where you can actually get to know somebody.
Yeah. I was actually gonna add something like that. While building the relationship, especially in the early stages, try to find something, to connect on that's non-businessy. And I mean, there's the cliche stuff like, sports, the weather, traffic, whatever. But I mean, like something that maybe a little more unique that both of y'all connect on.
Food. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Travel.
There you go. Yeah. Traveling is a good one. Oh yeah. I think connecting with Chronister. Wait, who was it? Now I'm forgetting. Keegan. He's a Height franchise. Was talking about how he had traveled and used to live out here in Nicaragua as well for like, I forget if it was a year or like a few years or something like that. But it was really cool. Now I'm kind of sharing that experience as well, and like we get to connect on that and kind of share stories. Another cool way I would suggest is more on the while you're servicing, helping to be that guide, and helping to truly serve them in whatever it is that you're offering to them, whatever you're fulfilling on, and not being the person that is never available or out of touch or doesn't really want to talk to their clients and stuff like that. Like they're people too. Like if another marketer, another agency comes along and tries to snatch that business away, and you don't really have a relationship in there, it could be good as gone. You don't know. I mean, they could just look at you as a commodity, or the other guy's cheaper or whatever, if you haven't taken the time to build that relationship. And I know like all this talk about scaling and sell and stuff like that, that you hear from a lot of the ads and the coaching communities and stuff. Everything goes boom, comes back down, very high velocity and high churn type of things from what I've seen out there. And it's just a better way, more long-term way of looking at it. So, but yeah, man,
that scaling's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. You see so many ads and, they're just trying to get attention, the eyeballs and stuff like that. But,
shiny object.
There you go. Well, cool, man. Any other last little things before we call it a day?
Man, I mean, I would just close it with, knowing your purpose and your priorities. And the more you dig into that, the more successful you're going to be.
Awesome. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast, and that's it. So if y'all watching in the Facebook group, let us know what kind of topics y'all want. We'd love to hear back from you. We'll include on the next one. Let me go ahead and shut that off, and we'll see you on the next.